Okay, welcome everybody to our daily stream. My name is CR, and today we're going to be talking about DSR. Gonna wait a little bit, see if anyone else joins. But to our first viewer here, welcome, greetings. Good to have you here. Let me just go ahead and check how our Kickstarter is doing. Kickstarter is good. It is streaming. All is good and dandy over there. So, okay, let me set the timer up for 1 hour. And this stream will be recorded since we're beaming it to YouTube and Kick at the same time. So you can watch the replay video on demand by visiting our Kick channel or right here on YouTube. And so I have finally gave the green light to push the first reiteration of MarketSpy DSR, the first version of the updated module from the MarketSpy trading system, which is responsible for gauging momentum using support and resistance or sweep and reversal mechanisms that are present in our MarketSpy methodology or thought system. And so today we're going to be looking at the basic functionalities of what you can expect from this module and how you can use it to your advantage. Now, starting from tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a series of streams on our Discord exclusive for MarketSpy owners. These streams are not going to be public because I will unpack a lot of alpha for these indicators and show you exactly how to find good opportunities using the system. So today, let's just quickly take a look at this, and I'm open to questions if you happen to join during the live stream, and if you have any questions, you know, I am more than willing to answer those. So let's begin by talking about well, first of all, let's have a cup of tea over here. Now, today is a good day for me personally because we have seen a little pop over here that gave us a clear breakout beyond our super trend over here. Now, this thing is called consensus super trend because there's actually 4 of them sitting inside of this average consolidated line, which gives us more time and you know, gives us very good support and resistance floors, as well as trailing stops and a whole bunch of other goodies. So where do we begin? So I guess for those of you guys who are coming back to watch this replay later on, I'd like to record the main points that you can refer to as you wake up to the new updated DSR version that has just been freshly published on TradingView. So you need to go to your indicators and click a renewal icon that you will see next to your MarketSpy DSR tag over here in the upper left corner of the screen. Now, the main update that I'm really excited about for you guys to try out are the consolidated alerts, a very sophisticated alert system that has been specifically prepared for us venturing into the MarketSpy Tactics trading terminal, which is in development currently. But if you ever used Poet, our previous trading terminal, then you know it had support for webhooks and webhook alerts. Now, those could only work if you were able to create sophisticated alert bundles, and the way it was set up back in the day and currently is on MarketSpy, Armageddon, and MSX, which are going to follow in the footsteps of DSR in the coming days in terms of new versions of those. But the DSR alert system is now able to accommodate traders who don't really have time to sit at the charts, but they would still like to participate in the intraday price action. And so back in the day, we would go right click on it, add an alert, and over here we would have a whole bunch of single alerts that were responsible for things like the ITP modules, labels. So for example, these ITP lightning bolts here at the bottom, here at the top, again here at the top, and here at the bottom. These were the things that you had to add in individually. And so that took a lot of energy out of all of us because the alert management system was pretty basic. And, you know, as we were going through the learning phase of how to actually use the system manually, automation was out of the question. But now things have changed a little bit. And so we're preparing to go semi-automated with the system. Just because I believe that there's no substitute for a sharp eye. Good discretion is always going to be superior to trading algorithms. This is why you still have trading floors and institutional firms that employ actual traders, executioners of algorithms. So the system can only do so much, but you have to give it a green light because most bots just don't know what it is that they're looking at. And so using the alerts here, we're kind of telling them now that they have something to work with. And so if you click on the alert, we are on the 1 hour right now, but if we drop down to our intraday time frame, such as 5, let's go over here. We can do some pretty amazing things on lower time frames, and so this is going to help you greatly. You can turn up the volume on your computer, walk away, and just wait for a single level to get tagged, and then just kind of take it from there. So it is going to load a bit slower. You have some stuff that's going on in the background that's going to maybe make these charts a little heavier with DSR on, but I believe it is worth it in the end. So right-clicking on add the alert function, you now only have any alert function call right here. And what this is going to do, you can ignore this alert may not function as intended. TradingView is a very amateur platform that doesn't really know that, for example, things that are repainting, or in other words, they have phrased their, some of the terminology that they use here may scare inexperienced people away by using words like repainting. But for your convenience in the settings, I'll show you that we have included real terminology that uses terms like intrabar, meaning bar that's in progress, and a repaint means that a signal can occur while the candle is still in development. And that is very important for traders, and many professional firms use repainting as a function to get an early head start or to prepare their trade ahead as soon as we see early signs of a candle printing a particular signal. So you can ignore this annoying little orange dot and just understand that it's only tied to the ITP markers that show up and disappear as the candle develops, just to filter out fake outs and stuff like that, so you can get cleaner signals. It is necessary to have intrabar fluctuations on these alerts, but it only appears at ITP. It has nothing to do with the actual backbone of DSR, which is pivot levels. So those are hard-coded sessions that run from the open to the end of the day, and it's always a good thing to have something that is very solid and hard on your charts. So any alert function call, same as chart. This is a small tutorial in terms of adding the alerts. So you're saying even if you're on a 5-minute chart, you can add it to your 5 minutes or choose any other time frame of interest to do it from a single window. And when you add this alert call, that's it, you're done. There's no more fiddling with alert management systems, because what that does is it takes a snapshot of your settings. And if you scroll all the way down in the new version, you will see these bell notification icons. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel and clicked on the bell icon, you should. But here they are, indicating that we have some alert parameters that we can enable or disable. So we'll just start from the top, and we have trailing steps alerts. Now these are these amazing little blue and pinkish trailing steps that can be used for either breakout confirmation indications, or simply to trail your stop program to operate at a 1 hour maximum loss and not more. And so you can set those alerts over here by enabling the trailing steps alerts. And what that is going to do is, from within the panel of DSR, once you enable them, you can indicate whether you want them to be touched and alerted. And this is the sort of repainting thing, because an intro bar can just kind of just tap it lightly and it will trigger an alert. And this is what TradingView is warning you about, that it's not 100%. To make it 100%, you confirm on close. You select this option right here. Confirm on close is candle close. So back in the day, we used to do that from the actual TradingView UI and when setting individual alerts. But now that we have the universal alert that we have just added, we can control those alerts by enabling or disabling these functions and programming it in a way that will generate a multiple alert triggers, but just adding one alert signal. So anyways, so enable long side triggers, we have that. Enable short side triggers, so when price is dropping and the alert gets triggered, we want it to, and you know, if you're using a trading terminal like MarketSpy Tactics that is coming your way soon, you're going to be able to execute on a trailing step break and put a stop loss order and see what happens. And you can do this on lower time frames with multiple positions, multiple instruments, and you're most likely, based on MarketSpy's performance, going to, even if you're 51% right over time, that 1% righteousness is going to make you a profitable trader using the system. So then we have CPR alerts, and this is the one that excites me the most, because once enabled, you have CPR alerts that can either be touched. So if a level gets touched, you can be alerted. And also, if you want to confirm that this particular time frame that we're on, 5 minutes for now, this is the one that we're looking at. We're working with 5 minutes for now. So if you want the 5-minute candle to close above or below any one of these levels, such as CP, TC, BC, touch any R1 to R4, great stuff here, you will be alerted. And of course, the high probability setups are pivot to pivot. And for the past 2 weeks or so, I have been using DSR exclusively to manage chop solidation trade setups, because Armageddon and MSX they need time to establish momentum to give you clean signals. But DSR is a robust pivot system that a lot of pivot players use to trade algorithmically and manually as well. So big money is involved at any one of these levels. So this is not necessarily a retail level sort of algorithm. This is a well-known, established package, and our implementation of CPR is probably the best in the game. And so the other feature we have here is Ranger alerts. Now, Ranger is the most underrated, probably least talked about module inside of DSR, inside of the MarketSpy trading system, that its sole job is to contain price within a certain range throughout the day. And I have some alpha coming up, and I'll show you how to work with those. But it's incredible how accurate you can get if you truly understand the way it works, which is something that I look forward to explaining to you all tomorrow, and after tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and so on. So same thing, we have alert on trigger mode, which is touch or confirm on close. And we're going to refer to Ranger as rails. Ranger rails. You know, I love my trains. It's a Wild West out here with Crypto Ranger, and so these are Ranger rails that you can enable over here by clicking on this activate Ranger rails. And this is a volatility mixed in with a little bit of ATR programming magic happening here, where price is basically Ranger reads volatility accurately and projects these rails in accordance with what it thinks price is going to do next based on its previous past performance. Which there's a safeguard against the adage that goes that past performance is not a guarantee of future returns, future results. And so, or vice versa, however you say it. And the guardrail is that if in the past price has been contained, but when volatility increases, we do get a breakout continuation. So this is what we called a flip in the MarketSpy realm of trading. So when the system flips, you simply follow along and trail your position with a precision stop using trailing steps. And I'm going to show you how to set the alerts and wait for just the right moment to get in on a trade. And technically, you know, if you're a pivot player, you're probably not going to find a better support and resistance system that actually gives you tradable signals that last for quite a bit. But once again, it's up to you how long you want it to last. You can set the Ranger to specifically contain price within a 1 hour duration Ranger rail zone, or you can set it to down to ticks, basically, if you're a high frequency trader and you have a system for that to execute your trades, although that could be expensive if you're trading crypto. Sigma knob rail, I'm going to explain what that is in the it's a very powerful implementation here, but I'm going to talk about it in our private Discord masterclass sessions that are scheduled to go live starting from tomorrow, 3 hours before now. So 12 p.m. my local time, Tokyo time, Seoul time, and be there to learn what this is. We can also do price labels and stuff like that, and these are visual cues and helpers that are actually going to help you understand timing, price action a little bit better. I'll explain that as well. And it seems that these are not as sophisticated, but simplicity is what I thrive on as a trader, and this gives me just enough, actually more than enough information to understand what it is that we're doing. And these labels are going to come into play when the trading terminal goes live, and so it knows exactly where the levels are, and you're in control of deciding how much it scales and where it executes. And so there you have it. So these alerts, let me just come back to this real quick. These alerts are getting snapshotted in the alert creation segment of setting this up. So if you disable CPR alerts, you don't want to be notified when price interacts with any of the pivot levels, let's just say. Let's say you enable Ranger alerts. You want to know when price is interacting with Ranger rails. You want to keep that, but you want to specifically only keep the bearish rejection or bullish rejection options. Well, let's say you're just interested in breakouts. We disable the rest of these. And ITP alerts, you want to see when high frequency trading firms are taking profit. And so you want to keep those. You want to keep the Sigma sign to see if volatility is about to increase. So you want to be notified of that. You keep all these. So now, whatever you have set here in your alerts, you click OK. And now when you create that alert, you go in here and you click on Add Alert on MarketSpy DSR. And you just click Create. You choose your time frame. Usually it's default on whichever time frame you're on. But you choose your time frame from here. Maybe you're just monitoring the 5-minute time frame, but you want to be creating snapshots of alerts for other time frames from this one single time frame. Now you can do so. And we're going to create this alert. You click on that. I'm not going to, but you will. And whatever that you set here in your CPR alerts, trailing step alerts, and their behavioral patterns, touch or confirm and close. CPR alerts, I like to leave them on touch. I like to be notified when we're near significant levels and not just floating in between nothingness in the no man's land. And once you have set these up the way you like, you can go ahead and add that alert, and it's going to take a photographic sort of snapshot of your preferences here and memorize them on TradingView's server. And you're going to get little notification labels that will let you know when the alert fires. Where is it coming from? Is it ITP? Is it Ranger? Is it CPR? Or is it TS, trailing steps? So you will be able to know what those alerts are. And this way you can, for example, drop down to your 5-minute time frame, like today, for example. And we have started from here. You can see how the day starts over here, and you now have this beautiful, beautiful progression fill where price just starts over here. It instantaneously prints rails, projecting them into the future and projecting them in a way where you can see where that session is going to end. At the top right corner, you have timers, and you can enable the info panel that will show you timers. And you can't see it on the screen because it's covered by my daily realized P&L label over there, but just behind here, take a look at your DSR, you will see time. So this gives you a rough idea of maybe you want to go and do your laundry or what have you, read a book, and that tells you that, you know, this is the Asian session, and I have figured out that the world is split into West and East. I don't really care about what happens in between. Some people go for quarters, but you're just gonna end up losing your mind tracking every corner of the world. So you're looking at New York, you're looking at Tokyo. That's it. So for me, if it starts from over here, now for you, it's going to start wherever it's going to start, but it's always going to be the same. You have to understand how time works. So if you're looking at this price, the start of it is the start of it. Now it's going to start filling up these tubes with this colored liquid, so to say. as price. Now, the older version of DSR was cut off from here. So you didn't really know what to expect in the future, and that created extreme lag. I admit, it was not the best implementation. But because now we know what our day is looking like, it gives you a pretty incredible glance at a snapshot of the whole market here. And so once you have your alerts, you can then see if you tap these levels. Now I set my ranger to the start of the day over here. Price kind of goes up, clears it. You get your little notifications. You see that price is rejecting over on CP, and we have a little pop. I actually made my trade somewhere around here. I got in because I knew that momentum was going to carry us forward anyways. And so I put a 10x leverage over here and just went up. Breakout alerts. You're going to have your breakout alerts. Look, price is contained, breakout. And as soon as it broke out, it went up, and you have supporting evidence to see that this is probably going to run all the way to the thin green resistance, not much of a resistance, ceiling over here. And this is going to cause lots of volatility in the coming hours. And this is your half labeled, this line, this katana that splits this whole thing into east and west. You just kind of know when the sun rises what the market does, and when the sun sets what the market does. Now over here, you're going to have the most significant move of the day. And so the way to look at this is, if you're at the beginning of the CPR and you don't have a position yet, you're just waiting for the half. So you wait for this price to reach this half point, and from there, you're going to get presented with another setup. And that setup could be a continuation up or down. It all depends on what MarketSpy prints. But it will print something. And so just you wait. On this line, you'll have significant moves today. Mark my words. And then from there, either the market is going to start to cool off, or it will actually retest the support zone and continue going up. You have your ATR, which is only current, and the previous is now measured by delta icon, which, if, for example, ATR is increasing, then you know momentum is increasing. If the delta is negative, you look at the percentage point, and anywhere between 5 to 10 is a good indication of a demand or lack thereof. That would be your previous ATR. So if the current ATR is higher than the previous ATR, it's usually a good indication that money is getting involved. And right now it is positive, up by 2% on the 5-minute, which equals to about $128 ATR. So if you're trading a single candle setup on 1 minute, you have to realize that if you're directionally correct on the 1 minute and you're looking for your ATR on the 5-minute, your exit sits somewhere about $60 away from your entry for a guaranteed take profit. But that's another story. Those are the tactics and the strategies that we will cover in another time. I'm getting my alerts over here. I don't know if you can see them, but they're showing up here in the bottom left corner of my screen. It says ITP Sigma. So, and we can see they're getting printed over here. And this means that there's lots of uncertainty here, and price may not necessarily do what you think it's going to do. So it is looking like it's going up, but this is likely to be a very short-lived candle before it starts chopping and going back down. That's how you interpret that. And that's it. That's all you need to know in terms of alert management and future price projections, understanding of your half zone of a trading session. You have no business getting into trades or positions here if you understand this from the beginning. So give yourself a fresh start tomorrow And pay attention to high probability levels, which is the pivot open over here and the pivot high or the previous high, which sits at around this line. Now, if you go to your settings, you can toggle them on and off and see what changes, and they have good descriptions telling you what the high probability levels are. And then the other high probability level is this pinkish dot over here, which is at pivot low right here. So it is entirely possible that we can reverse and retest this level and start trading below the pivot open. And the general rule of thumb is when the day begins and price climbs above the pivot open, you tend to stay there for a little while. Price breaks out, comes back to the pivot open, you tend to stay here for a little while. Breaks down below it, you automatically assume that it is going to go for the high probability level, whatever that is below. And but the ranger comes in and kind of creates buffer zones where it is a little earlier than the normal CPR pivots, and this is where you have the advantage over everybody else, because you can microscopically zoom in on a particular segment of these candles in a particular time and space floating in the middle of nowhere seemingly, but then you can also see that ranger is there to support your contained price and give you opportunities within that containment. So that's what this update is all about. It's about looking to the future, being able to set alerts on pretty much all the elements, all the important elements at least, minus say this moving average, which doesn't really matter. It's a classic 5200 EMA ribbon over here, and this is here just so we can see what others see. But the inside information comes from interpreting price action in this manner using ranger rails, and they give you the price, they give you the time label. Time label is always present because you need to know what it is that it is set to. It's not an option to disable it, and that's by design, just so that there are no excuses of I didn't know. So at a glance, it tells you a good understanding of where you are in terms of price. And so as we have this breakout, you can see that ranger is gauging volatility points around these levels, and it's probably going to do reversal. So up to this point, we have been going up. I think a little tap here, and it might even come down a little bit, but you never know. We had 2 consecutive breakouts over here, and the third point might be a point of exhaustion, and this is probably going to occur somewhere over here. Now we can see that within hourly ranger zones, the half point, so every 30 minutes, usually we would have a reversal, but we have had nothing but strong momentum, and because that reversal is not happening at the half point of ranger zones, we can sort of tell ourselves that this is going to be the case going forward. Because the half point is the half point, and it applies to the HC principle that I have described numerous times here on this channel, called the half candle, and it is responsible for pretty much 80% of everything that you see on the screen. Your guesswork is eliminated when you use the half candle understanding of what that is and why it's so important. It directly connects to the realities of risk to reward ratios and stop loss placement and the expectancy of what you can get out of the market using HC. Now, whatever happens on 5 minutes is going to happen inevitably. In a mirror-like event on higher time frames. We're talking about 1 hour, 4 hours, and so on. And so that is a very good understanding there to have. And MarketSpy's job has always been not to present you with trading opportunities, but to protect you from those that never existed in the first place. And so it's not as frequent as others, and definitely lacks the buy and sell nagging as most other systems would do. And they understand that it is much better to focus on one quality trade assessment directionally, and it can run for $500 or it can run for $5,000. It can run for $100 or $1,000. It doesn't really matter, because at every step of the way there is going to be something for you to work with here and to protect your trade. And so if you were at the open of the day and let's say price broke out, you can get these trailing steps alerts, which is amazing. This is something that we didn't have before. I don't know why, but I guess I was always doing this full time, and I was at the screen and I simply had no need. And there was very little consideration for people who had jobs or other things to do, because my assumption was that traders that are passionate and are looking to be successful would dedicate more time to actually studying charts. But now the system can accommodate those who don't have that kind of time and they want to set those alerts. And on the trailing step alert over here, upon a breakout, if your entry was somewhere here and price went up, you would trail it basically with a little 1-to-1 R risk to reward ratio. Your entry being in the middle over here, and you exiting at the first sign of resistance, which is the immediate 200 EMA ribbon. And so that's a $500 move altogether, but from your entry to the exit, that's $200. That's a 200 pointer. Now, of course, this is something that you can keep trailing and say that, well, I'll be break even at entry. Now, the old version of Poet still does that, still supports it. But if price were to go up, and when you have flatlined, I'll teach you all about the magic of the consensus super trend that is implemented here, which is very powerful, but you might overlook it just based on the name. But it's how you approach it and what tactics, what secret sauce do you have to tackle these indicators that makes all the difference. And so this is an inevitable breakout situation based on momentum. It has no choice. It is very simple. MarketSpy just gives you everything that you need to know at a glance, and it is worth holding a trade here, and that's exactly what it looked like today, this morning when I woke up at 9 a.m. You know, you can have a good night's rest and then just give it a little bit, have your tea, have your croissant, and then wait for this to break out. Now, this pattern here is the exact same thing that is happening on higher time frames. Now, I'm too lazy to go and show you, but I assure you that you're looking at the exact same setup on higher time frames that is inevitably going to cause price breakout, but it's going to be much slower. And so you will only see the results of what I'm saying maybe days to weeks from now. And these breakouts are being trailed by trailing steps, which if you set the alert with every trailing step, you can program your software to just adjust your trailing step using the measurements here, or you could do it manually. So for example, if you had entered here and your trailing step is down here, you would just simply say, keep a tab on this by 300 points, put a trailing step at 300 points is what I want to do. And once we move away by 300 points, you initiate that 300 pointer, and it's kept you safe all the way up to this nonsense consolidation that traders who don't have systems in place and are just bidding or guessing and looking at levels and desperately trying to catch a trade are going to have a hard time, because this is going to chop pretty badly. So, and the wrecking ball is here to make sure that you have very strong momentum, and the fun part started over here, the breakout. So once the ball is floating, it is extremely difficult for it to go back down below candles again. Here it is very close. Yeah, I told you there's like some chess that you can play here. It's like this. Or depending on where this guy ends up, from this point forward, it will probably go down here. It'll stay floating for the duration of until there's no more space left and this ball has no choice but to trigger price and go back up again. It's very simple and elegant in the way that all of this information is presented, and I hope you really enjoy the new version and take advantage of visual cues to understand and restrain yourself based on the east-west mindset, the half point, the projection, the prices, and the alerts that will work together to give you a little bit of alpha. And I think this is very significant, because the ability to simplify something that can be 10x more sophisticated and thus less effective is never a good thing in trading. You want to keep things simple, but you want to also be able to pinpoint things on lower time frames as an intraday trader. And there's also some techniques for swing traders or position traders here that are very, very powerful, and you might only want to react to maybe one signal every other week or so and make really good money. And so there you have it. Let's have some tea. We have about 15 minutes to go. I'm open to any questions. If not, I'll just sit here and see if I can maybe get into a short and add to my daily gain over here. I'm not sure yet. Rich with JC, this is the new version and it's been released. You can go ahead and update your indicator on TradingView. You should get an alert saying that there's an update. I recommend you remove the old version and then add the updated one freshly to your charts, so there's no conflict. But I think TradingView kind of helps you update it now by simply clicking the update icon that shows up next to the indicator that's already on your chart. Hey Box. The updates I just covered, you can replay the video and see the brief overview of the alert system, and also the visual cues and the ability to just automate certain things using the new robust alert system that we have implemented. JC, MSX, and Armageddon are to follow, and they will have some useful upgrades as well. But please be patient. They're gonna. People have been requesting DSR first because I have been using it to execute all these trades in the past few weeks, and it's good to be on the same page, and so that had to come out first. But MSX and Armageddon are next, right? So. In other news, all right, let me come out of my teaching mode and back to CR, baby. I have to make sure that everybody understands what we're working with here. So videos, they've got a different style of presentation, and this is my normal style, but this is when the YouTubester and the Streamster comes out. Yeah, JC, I haven't been communicating well, as you may have noticed. But there's just lots going on right now, and we're just gonna do one thing at a time. We have all the time, like you said, God's time, and so it's it's better to just get out there in incremental steps, one thing at a time. But yeah, the update is it's on its way. Beautiful setup this morning. And Asia is finally buying, and as we have the one thing I'll tell you about this particular implementation of so the more we consolidate below the consensus super trend, the more the momentum resets and the likelihood of us coming to a flat area becomes increasingly probable. And so, but what happens next is very interesting, because consensus super trend is a momentum indicator, not really a trailing step like it's used everywhere else. And the super trend is also not necessarily a support or resistance zone, but it is momentum breakout indicator. But the one thing that it is known for in our system is that every time when we have price breakout, you should expect an immediate reversal. And the reason for that is because just like with any other baseline retest or that kind of understanding, we have a reversal that is inevitable because of them. The consensus means there's 4 of them stacked, and so even though you're seeing single line, price is actually maybe breaking this level, but it's also breaking this level, and then this level. And so those are invisible, but what tends to happen is you have an immediate reversal upon a breakout or a chop solidation. And so every time you have a breakout, it is successful, but wait for price to come back and test one of the more significant levels right beneath it, or even come back and retest that breakout. For swing traders, the stops would be positioned at these peak points over here, but I don't recommend it. You have much better tools here to manage your stop losses, and super trend is just not one of them. But it is important to have it here, and for good reasons. That, and then all the other stuff we will talk about tomorrow. Now, R2 line, this is something that when you have the trading terminal, an alert that comes up and touches here will allow you to immediately execute a trade if the indicator confirms a close below or above any one of these levels. And that's a really, really good thing to have. But the trend of the day has been established by the pivot open above yellow line. Probabilities of us going higher are ever increasing, and below it, probabilities of us falling is also. And you can basically take a look, and it has to be at the start of the day, something like this. It has to be at the start of the day for it to make sense. But it's a high probability level, which means that if we tap on the probability level on the BC in this case, or the previous pivot high, or previous low or previous high, then we are immediately working from pivot to pivot, from pivot to pivot, from pivot to pivot, and so it goes on. And when you have choppy situation like this, for example, this is also easy to understand because we have been falling and price never continues to fall immediately after these significant moves. You have increasing momentum. You have lots of things here where the pivot will help you get to the previous pivot, high probability level here. And depending on how we get there, whether it's at the end of the day or midday, changes everything. And I'm going to explain and teach you how to understand time to better time, not markets, but markers on MarketSpy, so that it aligns with not only your trading session, but also your own time and everything else that you do in life. And so with these alerts, it's going to be a little easier for you to just kind of tag along and see what happens without having to worry much about anything else. And go ahead and set those alerts up right now. What I do is I contain my price action within a specific range-bound volatility readings of 1 hour on Ranger, for example. And you have so many options. Close above these levels, close below them, tap them, bearish reversal, and you can go ahead and back test those, forward test those, and I think you can reliably trust them with your, not live, I was gonna say live, with your account. It's pretty much the same thing for us as traders. You know, you lose your account, you lose your trading privileges. Oh, look how thin this is. This is going to be a very, very powerful breakout, and it is going to be most likely to the upside, reaching the S2, since we had a S1 breakout. And how it gets there, it doesn't really matter. Maybe you can, you know, but this is your next immediate target. And if you're a scalper, by all means, go ahead. But we already have some break on the ITPs over here, sorry, the trailing steps. And so there's a very cool way to that you can exploit, where price will come down to about this level where the break occurred and bounce immediately, and that kind of aligns with this level. Now, whether it continues up or down remains to be seen, but we have supporting evidence to indicate that everything is pointing up for a prolonged continuation, even if it chops here a little bit. But you know, lower time frames is is where you have fun. That's your playground. So just understand what this is telling you, and you should be okay. Set those alerts up, especially in the trailing steps. And when you have a trailing breakout, I'll show you some really good hygiene for your stop losses, and especially measurement techniques that employ implied volatility and ATR to create this elixir of profitable trade setups that you drink all day long and you're okay. So I really look forward to that. Now, any questions? We have 5 minutes and then we are out. The tree is going to be a panel like this that you can read with all the stats. Maybe not the best idea from my developer, but you will be able to just kind of toggle it on and off, and I think you can actually change the way it looks. So you can split it, you can center it, and you can maybe get rid of the indicator spy panel. The Christmas tree is now called. And it's an easier way to read those things, but you still have your ATR up here. And this is just to clear the charts a little bit better on the computer. The Christmas tree is better on mobile devices, like so on your phone and tablets and stuff like that. But yeah, together with DSR, MarketSpy Armageddon is very, very good supporting evidence for what had transpired this morning. And of course, you had your setup over here, and I think a sample size of anywhere from here to here, that's a $500 move. Where your stop is protected and you have your 1 hour. I think you can do this every day pretty effortlessly. As long as you don't start deciding what's next over here, you're in good hands. Start of the day, these project. Also on MarketSpy Armageddon to the end of the session, you'll know exactly where you are in terms of your Fibonacci readings on a daily. And MarketSpy Arma will have an HC mode for your pivot, which is my original teaching method that I have been preaching for a very long time. That is going to help you to normalize your support and resistance levels a bit better. And it's going to give you, so this is where the pivot is, and that is the HC of the move. And so once you have that breakout, it's yet another confirmation that we're most likely going to continue going up, and that's exactly what happened. You have your resistance breakout right here, which was called by I Know Nothing in our Discord, and it aligns with DSR's level over here. And so it's pretty clear that the momentum here this morning was pretty significant, strong, and I think this price action will reflect on higher time frames as well. So there's lots of opportunities to the long side for traders in the coming days. But intraday, in my experience, it's not an experience, it's almost like a universal truth at this point, is where you're going to be outperforming holders and those who are looking to swing trade, because you get to play with a bigger account, bigger positions, using methods for stop loss management, which is basically risk management. It's very basic. And everybody needs to understand this. I don't know why everybody makes it so complicated, but you're not doing anything here but watching. But these levels are so thin, we're going to have some fireworks. Please do not be surprised when you see the unexpected. R2 levels remains a natural attraction point post R1 breakout, and that's sort of like an inevitable level that price is going to tag. But it might get choppy. It might do something that you don't really want to be dealing with guesswork after the fact. So tomorrow evening or morning, whenever your DSR prints the projected tunnel for the day, just stick with that and trade it 8 to 9 p.m. Be at the charts with your tea in your hands. And also, it's either a.m. or p.m. between 8 to 9. It doesn't matter. And then if you miss something, if you're not available at that time, look forward to the midpoint painted by this half-life line over here. Okay, and this is the half-life expiration of the nuclear reaction. And it's going to happen. Price action to the upside is going to expire by reaching this half point. And you can see in the upper right corner of your screen, it says time to half. That's 5 hours to go. So you can safely, right now, step away for 5 hours, come back, and you're gonna get a fresh setup. Throw your miniature DSR volatility support rails, and you will get your points of rejection, consolidation, and you just trade pivot to pivot with exits anywhere from $200 to $300 based on this ATR reading on the 15. On 1 hour, ATR is about $600. So that's exactly right. You're going to get your 300-point trade, but it's going to be a guaranteed trade. You just have to wait for it. You don't have to jump in over here and thinking you're going to miss out on things. You're not going to miss out on anything, believe me. So that's it. Our time is up. It's been an incredible hour. Thank you so much, JC. Appreciate all the questions, and Trading Comparisons box is out there working and still able to tune in. I'm forever grateful. Thank you guys. And look forward to tomorrow's session inside our Discord, where we will talk in depth about our specific tips and tricks pertaining to, I will leave you with something today, right? This is 1 hour. This is the break of, what is this? Well, this is the break of the super trend, consensus super trend. What I want you to understand now is, even though we have a breakout above R1, your immediate reaction to this setup is that you have a daily ATR range where price can fluctuate easily based on higher time frames. It's flexible enough to drop by about 2,000 points and then consolidate and start shooting back up again, because the compression on higher time frames are so oversold, but the fear is still in there in the markets, and so it hasn't been exhausted yet, and we are going to come back 2,000 points below towards this breakout. Every time when price breaks out of the consolidated, or the new name for this, consensus, not consolidated, but consensus super trend, you have to understand that price is inevitably going to come back to retest it. Pay attention to the trailing step sitting at 111.889 currently. Pay attention to the ultra thin, meaning volatility expansion is extremely likely on the CPR floors and support. And pay attention that because of this, you are expecting price to come down, but not lower than this level. And it is most likely going to give you another opportunity somewhere around here. This consensus super trend, depending if it flattens out in the next, for today, or if it starts trailing it, as long as it's trailing it, as long as these guys are safe, you're buying pullbacks all day long today. Doesn't matter what the lower time frames show you. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'll see you in our Discord, and God bless. Trade safe, be profitable.